Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the CNG Podcast, where I will tell you about breaking news about many different topics. But first, I'm going to start by talking about WWE, or World Wrestling Entertainment. This Saturday, there's going to be an event called Survivor Series, where it will be for the men's division, the original Bloodline, in a War Games match against the new Bloodline. The original Bloodline is led by Roman Reigns, and it consists of the team Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and CM Punk. And then next will be the new Bloodline, which is led by Solo Sikoa, and his team consists of Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, Jacob Fatu, and Big Bronson Reed. It will be 5 men versus 5 men to show or prove that they are more dominant than the other bloodline. Well, the more dominant version of it. And for the women's division, it will be the team led by Liv Morgan versus a team led by Rhea Ripley. And Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley have been feuding since the summer, so I'm very excited to see this match happen along with the men's division as well. I'm just very excited to see the Survivor Series match happen. And both of these matches will be 5-on-5 War Games. And I would just say, watch it. They're probably going to be good matches, and there are going to be other matches along with it too, but I'm only mentioning the main event, and I'm not just going to do that in this subject of WWE or World Wrestling Entertainment. I'm also going to do it whenever I talk about UFC, boxing, and a special treat I have right before the end of the podcast. So wait to find out what that special treat is. Hold on, let me think about what. Okay. Sorry about the think about what thing. I have a script here about what I should say, written down about all the things I need to say, and now I'm going to talk about UFC. For the next subject, I'm going to talk about UFC, or Ultimate Fighting Championship. I apologize if that is not what UFC stands for. I was a little confused on what it stands for, but this is what I found. I would like to do a review on UFC 310. For the main event, it was Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, Stipe. And it was for the UFC Heavyweight Championship. And the results were Jon Jones won and retained his title, but I honestly wanted Stipe Miocic to win, but honestly, I am okay with him losing, but I am a little sore that after he lost, he retired, and I'm not saying he's a sore loser. That's not what I'm saying he is. I'm saying he was a good fighter, he had a good career, he had a good legacy, and he's going to leave behind a good example for the new heavyweights in UFC. And there are many other fights that happened on that, but I already mentioned while talking about WWE Survivor Series that I would only mention the main event. And our next subject is going to be boxing, which I will talk about right now. For the next subject I'm going to talk about is boxing, so I'm going to do a review on the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight, which happened two weeks ago on Friday. I would like to mention that I wanted Mike Tyson to win, but he did not. But I'm not here to share just my opinion. I'm also here to share the review. I'm here to review on my podcast, and this is my second episode of my podcast, and I would like to subscribe right in the middle of the video, is what I'm saying. And Jake Paul beat Mike Tyson in the 8th round. No knockouts. It was a unanimous judges' decision, and there has been leaked news. I'm not saying that Mike Tyson shouldn't have lost. I'm saying that there was a scripted match. Well, there's leaked news that says the match was scripted. And I honestly believe that. And I would believe that because Mike Tyson was just not acting like himself. Both Jake Paul and Mike Tyson had open angles to hit each other or knock each other out, but they didn't take it. And I think this match was not meant for sport. It was meant to promote boxing itself and just a money match, because both these men were tired at the end of the match, but there wasn't any show that they actually got hurt. They were throwing punches, yeah, but you could tell they were both holding up when they could have gone full throttle and won. If Jake Paul wanted to, he could have knocked Mike Tyson out. If Mike Tyson wanted to, he could have knocked Jake Paul out, which is why I firmly believe this match was scripted. And I would like to know in the comment section if you believe that this match was scripted too. But I'm not going to try to persuade your decision on whether it was scripted or not. I'm just saying that the match itself I believe to be scripted, and I agree with pro wrestling being scripted. I agree with that because it's entertaining, but with boxing being scripted, it just does not seem natural. It does not seem natural because boxing's in the Olympics. Boxing has been around for a long time. Goats like Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, I don't hear very often of them having scripted matches or of them having scripted matches. So, for me to hear that this was scripted, I can tell by watching it. And I would also like to notice that there was a thing that made a lot of people mad, is that the reception on which the fight was streaming on was getting very laggy, and that made a lot of people angered. It lagged for me whenever I was watching it, and I wish it didn't, but at least I got to see the results of the fight. Even though I did not like it and it was most likely scripted, boxing is entertaining to me one way or another, but I would have to put this on my bottom list of entertaining. I wanted Mike Tyson to win. I really, really did, but Jake Paul won, and there's nothing I can do to change that. And speaking of Mike Tyson, just because he lost, I mentioned in my other podcast, where the special guest was Uriah Starr, that even though Mike Tyson lost to Jake Paul, it does not destroy or define his career. I wish that the match, if it was scripted, I wish it wasn't, but Mike Tyson is still one of the best boxers of all time, in my opinion, and I think he did a spectacular job with his age being 58, and he was wearing a knee brace, and I doubt he had an injury. I think it was more because of his age. He has to have something to support his knee during the fight, because I'm going to admit it, Jake Paul is fast. Mike Tyson in that fight, he basically stayed in one place the entire time. But I'm not going to say that he did not move, because he did in a few. And whenever he did, he was doing pretty well. But I just think that the match itself was meant to be a moneymaker match and not a match that is sports related. I think it was more just to make money, to make the promotion bigger of boxing, to make the economy of boxing bigger. So I think that the match was okay. I have many good things to share about it and many bad things to share about it. But I cannot change the past. So let me go to my final let me go to my second to final subject, and some of you might like this, some of you might not. Some of you might not even think it's a treat, but I'm going to say it anyway. It is 3 jokes, and I call it Whimsical Wednesday. And the first joke is, why will aliens never invade Earth? Because they're lactose intolerant. And we are in the Milky Way. The next joke is, what is a Crystal's favorite boxer? Rocky. And the third and final joke is, what do you call a pig that knows karate? A pork chop. And now for my final part of the podcast, where I call it the conclusion. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and comment. And if you've already subscribed, please keep being subscribed. And the next episode of the podcast, the 3rd episode, will come soon. And I am looking for a new guest. And hopefully on the 3rd episode, I will have a guest. But for this one, I did it solo because I could not find a guest on the short notice, because my podcast was only made 2 weeks ago. So, subscribe, comment, and like. Or you can just do 1 or 2. Or you could just do all of them. Thank you for watching.